Rhea Bloody Ripley has lost her title. Calling all long-time WWE fans, I'm gonna need your help with this one. I'm struggling to process this. Some of you may already know, maybe you saw my last video, I am a relatively new WWE fan, so please forgive me if I'm not understanding this or if I'm getting this wrong at all. If you're interested in that video, I'll put it in the description. I need to ask immediately, how common is what we just saw on Monday Night Raw? If you missed it, Rhea Ripley opened the show, arm in a sling, with her title, and she's with Adam Pearce and just says, basically, I'm injured, I'm going to have to vacate my title, and lays it on the mat. She calls out Liv Morgan, citing that Liv Morgan was the reason why she was injured. And if you look back at the little promo segment they did last week, Liv Morgan threw a chair at her head and then threw her against the wall. It's pretty safe to say that if she was actually injured in that segment, it was probably the throwing against the wall. Since she had the sling on, there was nothing wrong with her head or anything like that. But how common is something like this? This is something I wasn't really prepared for. I haven't really seen this yet from a wrestler that is one of my favorites, so I'm not processing it very well. My assumption as a newer fan would have been that they would need to be injured and not return for a little while, and that would, that's why they would have to give up their title. But I guess if they know you're going to be gone for a long time, yeah, I guess that makes sense. But then I think to how often Roman was gone for months at a time, and then I think how Seth Rollins, was injured and wasn't able to come back for months and wasn't going to be back until WrestleMania. So does that mean that Rhea is going to be gone for at least as long as Seth was? Or is there a chance that this is just writing in the story? Maybe she's not that injured. Is that just me coping and hoping that she'll be back in a few weeks or a few? I would hate to not have Rhea Ripley for 3+ months. That would really feel like something is missing from the Raw or SmackDown roster, depending on how the draft would go. How's this going to affect the draft? Is she going to still get drafted? Help me. I don't know how this works. Okay, if I'm looking at the positives, the one positive I can come out of this is that this feels like it sets up a legitimate feud with Rhea where she's attacking someone else instead of just kind of her feud being that someone wants her title. This seems like a really strong thing between Liv and Rhea that could be really heated, especially if Liv is the one who has the title when Rhea comes back. I think we are in for one heck of a feud. I don't know if that would be something that she'd be back in time for SummerSlam. I'd be really sad if she's gone that long. That would be over 4 months if she missed SummerSlam. I'm not trying to sound like I'm freaking out here, but this is the first time since I've started watching wrestling that one of my favorites is just kind of gone. If there's anything you can say down below to make me feel better, I would appreciate it. But who do you think's gonna take the title? Which by the way, I'm gonna be there. So next Monday Night Raw, keep an eye out. I'm gonna be on the hard cam, straight ahead. If you find me, let me know if you see me on TV. But that means I'm gonna be there when someone new gets the title. Who do we think is gonna get that? I know they showed Liv. Obviously, Liv Morgan is gonna be in the mix. They cut to Nia Jax for a little bit. I don't really think they cut to anyone else tonight, unless I missed it, or last night at this point by the time you're seeing this. Is it going to be a small tournament style? But they said they're going to crown it in one day. How much can they? I don't know what to think. I don't know what to think. What happens in a situation like this? Someone help me. My hope is that there's a few ways this can go, right? My hope is that she isn't that injured. Maybe it's just something she needs to get worked on, and then maybe this small injury just happens to line up to where she would need a break. Because if you think about it, she really hasn't had much of a break. She's been there every week since she won the title, and I only started watching since WrestleMania 39, so I'm assuming she was active right before and maybe months leading up to it because she won the Rumble and all that. So she's been active for well over a year. So my copium is that she's a little bit injured, and this is also just a really good time for her to get her break and kind of rest up now that she's been, carrying so much of the entertainment on Monday Night Raw. So maybe she won't be gone that long. Another scenario is that she has had a lingering injury maybe for a while, and this is the time where she should get it worked on, and maybe she's going to have to get some sort of surgery, because if they know she's going to get surgery, that means they know she's going to be gone for 3 or more months maybe, and that's why she needs to vacate it. I really hope that's not it. I'm hoping that this is a little bit more of a plot device, and it's to kind of, maybe they don't have a way for her to lose the title. This is a lot of Copium. Just please work with me here. Maybe they feel like they've built her up like such a badass that there was not going to be a way to comfortably just remove the title from her, and maybe they don't want to do another long title reign, maybe another long multi-year Roman. So what they did is, maybe I'm realizing how much I'm clinging on here. I'm grasping it so much here, but maybe it's just because they want to give her that reason to fight for something again instead of just stomping everyone who tries to take her title. I don't know. I mean, I'm here for a Rhea versus Liv feud. I hope it's not like 3-4 months from now. I really hope that she's gonna be, you know, good in the next, I don't know, couple months, something like that. That would make me feel a little better, but obviously if she's hurt, I want her to get better, so take all the time that you need. Oh, and lastly, if you're still here, what do you think of the Chad Gable heel turn? I was rooting for it all night. The entire time they kept showing him, I felt like they weren't showing Chad in a very like uplifty vibe like they normally do. I was kind of ready for it, and Sami Zayn being in Montreal, I felt like it was a really good time for it, and I really thought they were going to drop the ball on it, and then thankfully, I think they went over like an extra minute or two on Raw tonight, but they did it. They had Chad Gable just hit him with a couple suplexes and, you know, beat him up on the ropes. I don't know what moves he got him in. He's got his ankle again. Like, I'm all here for a Chad Gable heel turn because I wasn't really liking him just losing to Sami when everybody kind of was wanting Chad Gable to be in that Gunther match. I don't know. All I can request is please just go to the comments and make me feel better about Rhea. Don't tell me she's going to be gone for a super long time. Is this common? Is this something that I need to get used to? Is this how they handle breaks? Is this how they handle injuries? Do they just take titles off people if they get hurt? That seems sad and kind of scary. I would also appreciate if you subscribe to the channel. A lot of you subscribed and were commenting and sharing your stories in my last video about when you guys became wrestling fans. I just became a fan about a year ago and I have been absolutely hooked. So I'm excited to use this channel to kind of give a lot of my perspective as a new fan, and then hopefully some long-term fans like you guys can kind of guide me a little bit on some of my assumptions or some of my questions, and then maybe there's some of you who are also new that can kind of join me on this ride. It really was a pleasure talking to a lot of you guys in the comments, by the way. I really do appreciate how much you guys were willing to share about how you got into wrestling. That was really cool. So hopefully we can have more of a discussion like that on this one. Appreciate your time. I'll see you guys in the next one.